Hello, I hope you are doing well. My name is Jacqueline Vino from Golasso Learning Solutions, and welcome to the Genuine Learning blog. Today, we are going to cover a new exposure draft that was recently issued by the AICPA's Accounting and Review Services Committee. And what that committee is primarily responsible for is issuing new guidance relating to SSARS engagements. So think about preparation, compilation, and review engagements. And actually, this is a pretty good exposure draft. I think it really makes things easier, makes things clearer, more straightforward, and is hopefully going to reduce some inconsistencies that we've been seeing going forward. So we have a lot of information to get through together during this blog. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So here is what the formal title is of that proposed exposure draft. It is the applicability of ARC Section 70 to financial statements prepared as part of a consulting services engagement. So this was initially issued by the Accounting and Review Services Committee on September 23rd of 2024. So fairly recently issued. And I really want to point out the scope of this exposure draft. So we are specifically talking about ARC Section 70, which is the preparation engagement. So we are not talking about compilations and reviews. It doesn't address, ARC Section 80 or ARC Section 90 here. So if this is issued as final, the proposed SSARS here is going to amend SSARS 21 and also ARC Section 70. So what is the objective here? Why was this standard issued? The reason why is to amend the applicability of ARC Section 70 to explicitly exclude financial statements that were prepared as part of a consulting services engagement. So let's talk a little bit about the why here. Why do we need this exposure draft? Why are we here? Why are we doing all of this? And the reason why is because of client advisory services, or CAS. As we all know, CAS engagements are very common. Whether you are a sole practitioner or if you are part of a large international firm, various firms, shapes, and sizes, a lot of them do offer outsourced accounting services for their clients, and that's definitely not a problem. What is the problem is that some CAS practitioners decided to follow ARC Section 70 when they were preparing their financial statements, while other CAS practitioners were following Consulting Services Section 100, which is definitions and standards. So in essence, we just had some diversity in practice here. Some practitioners were following one set of standards, other practitioners were following a different set of standards. And as you can imagine, that has caused some rippling effects. And one issue that we really start to see is with quality management. So in essence, if a CAS practitioner is preparing financial statements and they are following ARC Section 70 and they're trying to adhere to those requirements, that also means that they need to adhere to ARC Section 60, which are the general principles, and they also are considered to be part of a firm's accounting and auditing services. So that means that they also need to follow the quality management requirements. They're going to have to participate in a peer review program. So lots of additional considerations that come with following ARC Section 70. Now, on the other hand, if a practitioner is following the consulting services requirements, in that case, they are not considered to be part of the accounting and auditing services that a firm offers. Therefore, they are not subject to those standards. They're not subject to following the quality management requirements. And in addition, they also might not even be required to participate in a peer review program. So as you can see here, there are lots of different implications depending on whether the CAS practitioner is following ARC Section 70 versus CS Section 100. So a little bit of difficulty there. So what are these proposed revisions? What the Accounting and Review Services Committee has decided to do is to explicitly exclude consulting service engagements from ARC Section 70. So basically what they are saying is, if you are engaged to do CAS work, and that includes preparing financial statements as part of your CAS engagement, we are not going to follow ARC Section 70. We are going to follow the consulting services guidelines instead. So that does make it a little bit easier. Another proposed revision is they just wanted to go ahead and include an additional application paragraph, just sort of explaining some of the differences between consulting services and how they differ from SSARS type engagements, and sort of why it is appropriate to exclude these from a preparation engagement. So what is the proposed effective date of this standard if it does get approved? So this is going to be effective for the financial statements for periods ending on or after December 15th of 2026, and early implementation would also be permitted. And I would assume in a lot of cases, early adoption would be ideal here, especially if you have some CAS services and you're also trying to prepare financial statements. It might be nice to have that clarity going forward. Additionally, right now they are still accepting comments. So if you would like to send a comment, they are due by December 20th of 2024. So still have a couple more days to get that in before our Christmas and holiday breaks. And I've also included a link to the exposure draft here. I will say that it is a pretty light read. It's only about 10 pages long. So definitely not an exposure draft that is too crazy compared to some of the other ones that have come out recently. And really that is it for today. So as you can see, not too crazy of an exposure draft this time around. I do think that this will be a more popular exposure draft because it does make things a little bit clearer, a little bit easier to understand. So thank you so much for tuning into this blog. Once again, my name is Jacqueline Vino from Golasso Learning Solutions, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I also hope to see you in a future blog.